Most MICRESS results are binary sequential files written by the Fortran MICRESS code. They can be opened and processed directly using dp-MICRESS. Some other files have the ASCII format and thus can be opened by any text editor. They contain statistical information and are signed by .txt. ASCII data is evaluated by plot programs or Excel for runtime data and statistics. Then there are MCR files, which contain field values. And there are VTK files, which are especially suitable for 3D results. These results can be processed by different tools. These are the MICRESS Post-processing tools. They will be presented in a more detailed way in a minute. Firstly, let's have a look at the different file types. In general, there are two different types: the MCR files, and secondly, the TXT files. In the following, all the available MICRESS result files are presented. There are several result files for field variables in 2D and 3D for all output time steps. The drive file gives the driving force for the growth of a grain with a higher number into a lower one. It displays only the chemical part of the driving force and the driving force for recrystallization. GeoF.mcr files store information concerning the geometry, for example about grid size and cell dimension. Then there are int files, which display the interface region with values of -1 for dual interfaces, -3 for triple junctions, -6 for quadruple junctions, etc. Then there are orientation files, which show the 2D grain orientation in degrees, so angles are treated. A face.mcr file provides information on the faces in the system. Furthermore, there are REST files, which allow to restart or continue a simulation. These files are only written if out-restart is specified, and they contain only data from the most recent output time. The in file corresponds to a driving file as understood by MICRESS. This means that it represents an ASCII driving file created by MICRESS. It can be used keeping the driving file in a readable form. This rubric is a collection of several TXT files, which equals ASCII data, as already mentioned beforehand. The tab d.txt file gives the diffusion coefficients at the corresponding tab log times when the concentration coupling is activated. Tab f.txt stands for the average fraction of each phase in the whole domain when the concentration coupling is activated. Tab l.txt is an ASCII monitoring output generated at user-defined intervals to check the simulation progress. It gives information on the temperature gradient and some additional information depending on the type of the activated coupling. Tab p.txt sums up the simulation time, the CPU time, the diffusion, the seed, the enthalpy, the stress, and the temperature times. Tab t.txt reports information concerning the setting of the automatic time step, of course if automatic time stepping has been selected before. Tab tq.txt shows the temperature change with progressing simulation time and the corresponding CPU time. tq.txt is a Windows-specific data file which stores the output of thermocalc's interface. It is making it more convenient to exploit the origin of TQ errors. It is always created under Windows when thermocouple coupling is activated. As already mentioned, the VDK format is especially suitable for 3D data. For more detailed information, please have a look at the MICRESS manual. Output files are not generated automatically. They are only written if the output file type is requested in the driving file, which happens to be beforehand. And secondly, the output files contain all pre-selected outputs. As mentioned before, there are several MICRESS post-processing tools available. First of all, there is MICRESS, which is a 2D and partially 3D evaluation tool. It is the graphical user interface to display MICRESS and is provided along with the MICRESS installation. Then there is ParaView, which is the 3D post-processor from ParaView and is freely available on the ParaView website. Then there is NewPlot, which is plotting of tabulated values. It is a command line-driven plotting utility and can be used for post-processing of text or ASCII files. Especially for the ASCII files, the post-processing using tools such as Editor or Excel is possible. The next video in this MICRESS post-processing tutorial series will describe extensively the display MICRESS tool.